out the we'll send out the
I'm
recording.
just here to learn. It's up to you guys. It's up to you to teach me.
Awesome. So, all right, I'm going to jump in. Let me share my screen. So, all right. So one of the things I want to talk about today, well, I noted something on compliance. So as we go into this year, I think we're in a situation where most of us LOs are going to probably be reaching out to a lot more realtor partners and partners of other sorts that trying to get referrals. On the compliance side of that, the one thing I want to point out that to protect yourself as well as the brokerage and make sure that you can continue that relationship is if you follow this kind of one guideline, you should be fine and never break a RESPA violation. It's RESPA Section 8, I think, or is the main one. Is if you go into any partnership with anybody, that any financial benefit that comes out of that has to go to the client. So obviously there's a benefit if you're doing business together and your business is growing, you're getting another loan, you're doing, you know, more business back and forth that way. That's normal business. But where I say if there's a credit, a rebate, a discount, a fee saved, it has to go to the client. It can never go to your other partner, and it can never come from your partner to you. That if we stay, you know, centered on it's for the client, we should be fine, you know, never have a problem, and it goes through. And you can do a lot that way. For instance, I'll use an example of kind of why this came up is I'm working a partnership in receiving leads and things through social media with one of the realtors up in Fresno. And my offer working with her to our client is that I can save them, you know, up to $1,500 in hard fees, you know, for closing costs. And what that would look like on my side is me paying the $600 for the appraisal. So they're not paying that. And then me paying Amelia, our processor, out of my commission versus them. So those two items right there are hard costs that I can absorb. One's up front, you know, at the beginning of an escrow, the other's on the back end. And it's, you know, it's a little bit more if for some reason the loan doesn't close, we all lose out. So, but that's a nice opportunity to have a pitch or, you know, an offer that's at least $1,500, which as we're seeing, and one of the things that Travis is mentioning is the realtors that are coming to us looking to move their license, they're really looking for partnerships, and they're looking for leads, and they're looking for business. So if we're talking with more realtors and we have an offer like that, and everyone's going to be different. There's going to be people that think $1,500 is a lot of money, you know, and there's going to be other people, especially industry people more, that might think, well, that's not much at all. You know, you're making a whole lot of money. Regardless, we're giving them $1,500 that they wouldn't have to spend themselves. So it is a value. I did a credit for a past client on a loan just recently, and she couldn't believe the amount of money that I was giving to help her buy her rate down, as well as a little bit extra in closing costs. And her loan and the whole situation was going to be really expensive for them. So, you know, everyone sees this a little bit different. So, you know, that's what I want to say. But on the compliance side, just make sure that the offer or the benefit is to the client. So moving on, the next thing I wanted to talk about was building up our client reviews. Reviews are probably the best third-party silent salesman that can be out in the world working on your behalf, and you never even know it. And so Birdeye is a product that's been used for years, and recently, in about the last 2 or 3 months, they've started offering a free program, full service of their product, limited to 30 communications a month, and that 30 communications is not each contact, it's each individual contact person. So if you had 30 different people you were speaking with, trying to engage them and get testimonials or going back and forth in an email or a text, you would be fine. So you could have 30 different people, and you could have 5 to 10 interactions with those 30 people throughout the month, absolutely free. This is what and you guys can see my screen here. Anybody? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the things that I like about this is this is what the client would receive when they have it. It's a nice, clean, simple format. You'll have if you set up a Birdeye, you have the ability to change this text, the picture. You know, this is actually linked to my Google My Business page, so that's the title for that. You can go, if they hit on review on Google, it goes right to that Google My Business page. It can go to my Facebook business page, up to them. They can do 1, they can do 2. If for some reason they weren't happy, they have an opportunity to contact me directly right then. And then what's nice about this program is on the back end, you can see all the communication. It stays within that. So if I emailed Travis and said, you know, sent him this, and he chimed in, decided to fill this out, I would see that in an email. Or if he asked a question, hey, service was horrible. Here's what I'm really upset about. That would go into the Birdeye system, and we would be able to communicate. There's a mobile app as well that's free, so you can do it all from your phone if you want. But what's nice about this is it's a nice, easy, free tool that we can use to collect up to 30 people a month. Now, for me, I've been horrible about this, and I've been in this industry since 2014. I've probably got less than a dozen testimonial referrals. They're probably mostly on Zillow, which is where I pushed people, because that's where most people were shopping. So it made sense then. Google My Business is probably the best place to go, because most people are using Google to start their search, even if they're going into a Zillow or any other site. Facebook, I think, is helpful, but I would probably lean towards the Google site, because it's going to push other things. They're making a big effort with Google My Business to make it a more useful tool for entrepreneurial businesses like ours. So I think that's really good. Super easy to use. The more testimonials you have, the better ranking you get, the more you show up in searches as well. So this is kind of what it looks like. If you look at this is how you would answer. I just left this quick little note. Let me actually see. All right, so just gives them a little bit of information where this is going to go. Simple like that. If you come in here, you get to choose basically how many stars. You can write any type of message that you want. Real super easy. Post right to the review. So it goes right into Google. The next thing I wanted to talk about today for communication with clients is creating some sort of an email newsletter. Fast newsletters is actually a product I used forever as a real estate agent, and I fell off using it probably 2 or 3 years ago as I transitioned into mortgage. It's pre-written. They do it in 2 forms. They do a print, like an email printable newsletter that you can mail out. It comes in a couple of different forms. They do a 4-page, which is really nice. There's a 2-page, and then they do They format it also to where it would be easily printed and mailed out using the direct mail service that Postal Services, was it EDDM, I think is the service that they just send it to. It goes out to a complete like mail route. So like if the guy that delivers your mail, an EDDM would go out to everybody that he delivers mail to, and you get to pick those as well. Kind of like a farm, but a little bit less control. But what's nice about this particular product, it's if you do the print and the online version, like the email version of the newsletter, it's the same content throughout the month. It's only like $17, so it's really small, and it's articles that are meant. It has some kind of lead capture type of things where direct response, like, hey, you know, looking for a home value, interested in rates, things like that. I'm going to pop over and show it in a minute. But they also write these real cool, like editorial style stories about other stuff, things that we would never be able to source on our own, especially and put it together as quickly as these guys do. Just short stories, articles about, you know, home care, different things that are happening. But it's only 17 bucks. Then they also give you these extra reports that are different each time, and kind of on the topic of you know, different things, like if we wanted to look at rates or anything like that. I'm gonna go in here and actually switch to this screen. So seeing my screen now, so if you got the email version of that newsletter, you get a link. And if you have a MailChimp account, which is a free service up to like 1,500 users, so you would have to have more than 1,500 contacts that you are emailing through this service before they charge you. And you get the full suite of their tools as well. But this is one of those. This is an older one that I have from this company back in, I think this is from like 2017. It comes pre-done, so you just come in here and you end up being able to change it. You can come in here and basically all these highlighted things, you would just come in and quickly edit that, make a personal note, add your own name, things like that. But most of it's done for you. They set up this little coffee thing here. It's really easy to use. It does take some time, but again, it's only, when I was using it, this was 13 bucks. This is now $17 for the print and the email version. But they give you 3 of these email newsletters per month, which is great. And then they even have a system that they kind of educate you on how you might set these up. Like every 10 days, you're pushing one of these out, and they carry along. But you can add links, you can add pictures of stuff. I used to add like my listings. I used to add things like when I would do charity updates. That's mainly what I use this for, is our charity project would go out. But again, like, you know, this one, just for fun, the joys of growing old together. We're never going to write an article like this, and we're never going to source it. And if we do, we might do it once or twice, and then it just becomes more work. But for 17 bucks, you can get this thing. It's done for you. You're just editing a few key pieces of information, which they've set up for you. So you don't, after you go through a couple of these, you'll realize I can just go through this in 5 minutes. And if I remember right, this service actually has a system in place where you can just put in your contact information, and their system will automatically update like all these yellow highlighted sections with the information that you wanted. So again, even saving more time. I used to always add little things and just personalize it a little bit more. But you know, like we're never gonna do any of these things. And they add these little guys here, so it's super easy. This pre-populates in here. You get to do all this editing and play around in here. But now you have some way to, at least once a month, if not twice or 3 times a month, you can send something out from you that's virtually takes you 5 or 10 minutes. What I found when I use this is, you know, a lot of my database comes from our charity effort, and a lot of those people are colleagues of my wife's friends and coworkers. And so they used to tell her all the time that they loved my newsletter. Like, I mean, just the random stories and things. So it was definitely things that, you know, made sense at the time. It's really good. It's definitely worth it. If you want me to send you one of these before you know, buy into yourself, or if you have an idea that you wanted to create this on your own, happy to help. I think this stuff is amazing to just keep retention of past clients, of, you know, leads right now that we're working with, because if you have pre-approved buyers, they might not be purchasing for, you know, a month or two. So sending them stuff like this could be helpful. But it's super easy to use. The MailChimp account's free. You get the link from the newsletter service, and it populates exactly like this in here. So and then you can, you know, essentially come up here. We can look at what this actually looks like in an email, and, you know, it's a legit product that, you know, makes you look good. It's easy to read. It's got a couple of different things. So I'm a big fan of this, especially for the price. I've never seen anything else that's better. And honestly, I don't know that I've ever seen anything this inexpensive as well. I used to do a lot of the print stuff, which is why I stumbled onto this. And like I said, I got good results from it. People paid attention to it. Here's what it would look like on your phone. It all shifts around. MailChimp is super awesome with the way that they've got their stuff set up. And within MailChimp, if you're using that, there are other tools involved with that. They do landing pages, they do other stuff. You can, you know, have different contact lists where you're sending, you know, certain products to buyers versus sellers versus, say, business partners. So you have a lot of flexibility with how you want to use this tool. And, you know, for us right now, with how long the relationship is between, you know, getting pre-approved and closing on a purchase potentially, we need to be in contact with our clients a lot more than we used to. And then even if, you know, I think in that long term, that follow-up later, you know, the past client, this is how we keep them engaged. And because it's not always just a market update, they're likely to jump in and go, oh, that's a cool article. I remember there was one last time. And that's what I found from the feedback that my wife's friends would always tell me. Guys that were on my list, I don't know if they paid attention to it, but guys don't usually, you know, share their feelings, especially about something like this. But a lot of my wife's girlfriends would comment on it, that they enjoyed it. So that's what I want to show on that. Let me bounce back over here to, let's see here. Are you guys seeing this YouTube template for Altos Research?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is long-term content and, you know, things that we could be doing to push out information to our clients, and to using the theory of a effort of one to many. So this Altos Research video, you know, these are the guys that are being shared a lot with our I think it's our, is it title or escrow that gets us this service or gets us information from these guys, Travis?
One or both. So you can
Okay.
get an account with Tycor or with escrow options.
Awesome. So this particular video is just 10 minutes. If you look, this guy, after posting it 53 minutes earlier, already 132 people looked at this. So this guy probably spends 20, 30 minutes putting these videos together. Now, these for me, they're heavy data. Like I've tried to watch them. I can't. I just can't. There's so much data, but there's a, you know, for the right person, they'll eat this stuff up. But 132 views, and this thing was only posted yesterday, 53 minutes before I saw it. What's crazy about this video is this will stay up on YouTube forever. And in 5 years, this might be, you know, 13,000 views. People keep going back and looking at this stuff. So a video on YouTube, information that is relevant today, say the market, you know, how the market is in San Diego, you know, in 2022, people will jump on that even in 2024 because they're going to be interested. Now, they might have come to your YouTube channel or found you for a different purpose, but there's a good chance that they'll still look at that and then compare the data, things like that. But the most important thing is, like, this is being used on a free platform. That it's, you know, if you watch his videos, they're in depth. Obviously, the information that he's showing has a whole nother, you know, system that they use to gather their data. I mean, it's granular. It's nuts, man. And I think what it does, though, is it allows them to build themselves as a authority in that market. And that's what we want to do as lenders, as LOs. We want to be, you know, the financial guru for everybody that we know. That, you know, so the more that we talk about this stuff, even if no one's necessarily watching from beginning to end, because even this 10-minute video, that's a lot, you know. But if your clients see you pushing this stuff out every week, once a month, something like that, even if they only watch bits and pieces of it, what they're reminding of is, oh, you know, Paul pushed out another video. He's so good about, you know, understanding mortgages. You know, Baltazar's sending out more information about timelines and guidelines and things like that. And he's constant, you know, and you guys are constantly updating them, even if they're not necessarily paying attention at the moment, because until they're ready to do something, they're not really going to pay attention. But by pushing it out and putting it in front of them for even just a moment or two, to where they're aware of it, it still builds some authority with them as you being the guy to go to when they have a need. So, you know, this is super granular. This is what I mostly wanted to show you. Is just only a few moments ago, you know, less than an hour ago, he had already got 132 views. This is a real estate agent. Again, only an hour in, he's got almost 1,000 people looking at his stuff. He's Jeb, I follow him. Interesting. He's actually local here in California. And one of the things that we can notice, like, you know, when these thumbnails, these guys will spend a lot of money or time doing this stuff. And I know that Anahid's on today, and she was showing us how to use Canva, which is how you would make things like this real easy. You can do them a lot simpler, which I'll show you a little bit lower on this thing. But, you know, now we come into here. Here's something slightly different. And this is you know, a very interesting opportunity for a video. A home that unfolds in an hour. That's going to be interesting to lots of people. You know, you can see 2.2 million views over the past 9 months. You know, did this person or this company sell 2.2 million of these houses? Probably not. There's probably not even 1,000 of these in America right now. But that's how many eyes were on them. And of this 2.2 million, there's a good chance if there was an offer somewhere that was relevant to some of those people in the moment, there's a good chance that they reach out to us. But, you know, this is this is something that's just kind of interesting. Like, well, I want to see a house unfold. That's something interesting, and that's why I think that's so high. Here's another one. This is actually just been in the news. This house just sold to, I think, maybe a startup company or something. The guy bought it for like I don't believe it was, let me
I
see.
think it sold for 165 million at auction.
Yeah, and they I believe this is the house that they made the video of. It's my house. It's a rap song. It's amazing. It's a really cool house. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You've got, here in California, we've got opportunities to show properties like this, especially with partnering with the realtor team at Rise. I mean, going out and getting these videos, do co-hosting type of events where you're on site with them, doing stuff like this. If you're connected to this, 6.3 million people were on this guy's personal site, and that's less than a month ago. For this one topic, again, this is an amazing product. He's very fortunate to be able to show this. I'm sure this video, I didn't look at it, but this video probably cost, a few $1,000 to make. So it's, there's investment in it, but they have when you have this, you have the ability to market back to these people. They're watching your stuff. And this is how you can end up getting business, where people are seeing stuff on here and they're inspired emotionally to give this guy a call. Hey, this guy something that he said in this thing might solve my problem. So I'm going to give him a call. I'm going to message him. I'm going to find his contact information. So again, that's a huge power of YouTube versus additionally, it's, the power of a one-to-many product where you're putting out one message and you're sending it out to as many people as possible, spreading a super wide net to catch as many fish as possible. So win the house you love. This guy's really cool. This particular guy is the most mellow. Like, when you think of Travis being a mellow guy on camera, this guy would be like asleep compared to Travis. He is so mellow and just calm. It's like I feel like he's almost like, when he makes his videos, like he's talking to his elderly grandmother. He's just super calm and relaxed. It's a very interesting approach, but he delivers really good information, and he goes over a lot of things that I think we should be sharing more of. Very specific. He's going over, only in this video, 7 minutes, VA loan closing costs. Now, you might not even have a client or do much business with VA buyers right now, but putting out something like this, there's VA buyers in California that are looking on Google, on YouTube for VA loan information. And what happens when you put a video out like this, it's just like right now, like you're watching this and you're either going, man, I like how he delivers information. I like his, his demeanor. I like, how he functions. He shares information good. I expect that would happen at the same time if I called him and worked with him to buy my house, to do my loan. So you get to basically present yourself to 28,000 people, delivering information the way you might deliver it to one of your clients that's actively buying right now. So he's got dozens and dozens of stuff. And as I go here, I just want to show you, I grabbed a snapshot of this. I mean, look at this. So 2 weeks ago, he put up a video, 12K views, 10K views 3 weeks ago, 9K. These are big. There's in each of these, there's probably 1 or 2 people that need a loan, and they're going to reach out to him. The other piece with this guy being on Google like this, if we're pushing out content like this, it's going directly to him. He's now got the ability to refer buyers and sellers, anybody that reaches out to him, because he's now the expert in their eyes. They're going to be sending, referral business across the country to his realtor partners, to other lenders. You know, so you become a hub for business for other people as well as yourself. But you can see 2 months ago, 5K views, 77K views. And then I don't think I grabbed this. And then here's what I wanted to go. So going back to that, the idea of for a long time, he used basically a very similar template for his thumbnails. So instead of making something random all the time, like what we see here, he's getting a little bit more creative, spending more time making these unique. He had a simple system that he came up with, and he just added a few little tweaks here and there. But this is going back 2 years ago, still 65K. And then this is his very first videos. You know, 3 years ago, he still got 1.1K views, so over 1,000 views on like his very first video. Now, I would believe that, you know, a lot of this 1,100 videos or 1,100 views happened throughout the 3 years, not the first week or two. It's over time, and people are probably still clicking on this. 3 simple steps to buying a house. YouTube will serve this up to people that are searching things like this. You know, how best ways to buy a house. This is because of these views. This could still get served up to people. So it's again, it's the gift that keeps on giving. And you can see he's not in this. He's not dressed up super nice. He's fairly casual. You know, you can watch the different videos. Scrolling down here again, here's a real estate agent. They've named their channel based on their state, and they're doing best places to live. So things like this is interesting. If I want to live in California and I have the ability to buy in different places, working remote, things like that, best places to live in Georgia is probably what I'm looking at. This is an interesting video, and it's probably got some fun stuff in there. You could highlight 5 or 6 things that were important to you. You could talk about rates. You could talk about property values, how someone's being a lender, how someone's going to buy in Carlsbad or versus Escondido. That if you spend $1 million bucks in Escondido, you might get a really big property, but in 5 years you might your investment might only be worth 1.1 million, whereas in Carlsbad you might spend that same million, you get more of a cookie cutter house, but there's a good chance that that's in 5 years worth 1.2 million. You're sharing information like that based on history. That's when people start to reach out to you and say, oh, okay, here's a guy that understands how to help me maximize my investment. But again, this thing stays on forever. This was posted a year ago, as you can see. So this one,
piggyback on that real quick.
Yep.
So on these kind of videos do really, really well. So I'm in a YouTube for real estate agents group, and almost all of them are doing like pros and cons of living here versus here. And it's like city to city. So those ones are good. Top 10 things to do in a city. Living in one area versus another. Like I saw one for Temecula, which is known to have high taxes, high property taxes, but there's some areas of Temecula that have low property taxes. And so people looking for Temecula are generally looking for the lower tax rate ones. So, what are the 3 lowest tax rate zip codes or communities or something like that? You can literally just take data that's out there and put it together.
Yep.
Into a video very easily, put a decent thumbnail on it. And, if you can do a little SEO work on these, that takes an extra 2 minutes at best. And I can show you that. Those videos do well. I see a lot of those guys posting those types of videos.
This is actually probably one of the groups you're in. Karen Carr, she actually runs one of the training groups for YouTube videos. This is her team. She has a bunch of realtors. I think they're all women, like 7 of them that are working this area. She doesn't work. She doesn't, sell houses. She basically builds she builds these videos and promotes this and then runs her kind of YouTube channel, which she sells a coaching piece with that. But she was an active realtor. Now she has a team that uses this same thing, and she's never in these videos. It's always her team members, and they're, you know, they're out on site, they're doing the same stuff, but they are using what she's teaching, which is a nice piece. And it's pretty simple, you know. Making content is super hard. Even Travis and I trying to do these trainings once a week. I mean, just taking over the LO one, like I worry about this. The moment I hang up from this call, I start thinking about next week. And sometimes it's like I procrastinate. All of a sudden it's Saturday and I'm like, what am I doing, man? And then Sunday afternoon, I'm building out some version of what I'm showing you now and trying to figure out what I want to talk about. You know, it's interesting. So the next one is what I wanted to show you is, you know, here's this guy. He's a realtor, but he's also a CPA. But mostly what I wanted to show here, this guy's wearing, you know, a simple hoodie type of shirt. It's got, you know, this is him in his spare room, blank wall. There's nothing special about this. And if you look, the guy's got 22,000 views. So 22,000 people are watching this guy. And this is from a year ago, still popping up. And there's nothing fancy about this setup. It's a nice, you can get this using your iPhone, a small tripod, and you're hitting record. You know, the most important thing is if your audio is clear and good. But we don't need to be doing anything more than this. One of the kind of YouTube, say, guru coaches, or, you know, people that promote, you know, building out YouTube videos. I mean, she's got a channel that is, you know, 7 years old, and she still does videos sitting on the floor in her bedroom with the backdrop of her bed being made. It's that simple, you know. I'm not going to do that. I mean, my setup is what you see here: a clock, my weird Oakley, you know, case, which a lot of people catch. It's kind of, most people don't have that, and all my old sunglasses and watches and weird cycling helmets that I have in there that you can't really see, but no one cares about that than me. My wife would like to get rid of it. But like I said, the most important thing I wanted to show you is you don't gotta do anything over the top to get a whole lot of views. This is an interesting topic, you know. Should you buy a home now or wait? Well, that's probably the #1 question that we hear all day long, you know. So he nailed a topic, you know. He's just jumped on camera and he's going to talk about it, and 22,000 people watched. There's probably some people in that 22,000 that reached out to him, you know. There's no question. So last one, Matt the mortgage guy. This guy, he's actually up in Bay Area, I believe, California. He's been doing videos for a long time. One of the kind of pioneers, I think, on the mortgage side. This one, he used to do them just like right from his desk, no big deal, pretty simple. He did them this way for years. You know, this would be like buying a BombBomb service, and you're just turning on your camera and recording. There's a lot of other things that you can do, even just using Zoom right now, and then using that as a recorder. Most likely your laptop has a camera app built into it, and you can hit record and get a nice mic. You know, for under $100, you can be producing pretty decent quality stuff. You can see, you know, over the years, he's gotten more creative. A lot of different stuff. He hits a lot of stuff. He does live YouTube videos as well. Gets a lot of feedback from that. But you can see this, you know, 11 months ago, 77,000 views. There's probably some people that needed a loan in that 77,000 people, you know. And if they watched, you know, a portion or all of his video or 3 videos, there's a good chance that they reached out to him. You know, here's one of his latest ones. This was actually just put out, I think, maybe it might even be just as late as I just grabbed this last night. But again, he's wearing a UFC hoodie. He's not dressed up a month. He's got his little branding in the back, you know, nothing special. You know, if you look at Travis's background right now, that's just a background that he created, and it's shared there in Zoom. And those work really good, especially if you don't move around a lot. If you're just in your desk like this, you can have a background just like you see Travis's right now. Those are already pre-done. I think he's got a half a dozen of them.
Yeah, and they're actually in our back office. The mortgage
Okay.
ones are in the MLO portal.
And so, like, just like if you look at Travis, Zoom kind of takes care of the green screen. It somehow separates the person based on depth of how it works, and they fill that up. It's pretty good. It's good enough. If we scroll back up here, you're gonna get sick. Sorry, but so this guy uses the same thing, and he moves around a little bit when he's talking, and you get that little bit of blurriness, like but it doesn't matter because you're there for the content. So if you have a good topic, and with us in mortgage, we have nothing but, you know, information to share with people. They want to know everything about what we're doing. And so, you know, I'm going to go off here. I'm going to share one more thing, and then I will leave you guys to. Let's go here and look.
I think an important thing to think about this is, you know, we all have people that we want to work with demographically or monetarily, you know, figure out where your ideal client is, and that's going to be your audience, right? I'm glad you're showing this because I was going to touch on this.
Are you seeing the UWM thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, Paul, you're doing a bunch of financial services thing. I'm sure there's a certain type of client that you're really enjoy working with. You guys mesh well, you get referrals from. Baltazar, same thing, you know, you and your wife, you know, I'm sure you're working with the same types of clients quite a bit. Doing the YouTube stuff, I mean, is a perfect time to really hone in on reaching that certain demographic, because they're out there searching stuff. And that's the easiest way to really start building, you know, the database of clients that you want to work with, that send you referrals. They don't stray from you while you're, you know, out there working and showing homes and stuff like that. They don't, you know, go and write an offer with a listing agent. So that's the time, or that's the way, a way that you can really build that ideal audience for yourselves.
Yeah, let's watch this real quick. Are you guys getting the volume?
No, I don't know that it will.
Let's see if. You know, they
Yeah,
have this
it
whole
doesn't.
setup.
But they have a green screen. I mean,
Yeah.
that's obviously a green screen behind them.
Yep.
I mean, UWM did this whole inside pass thing. They do this once a day. It's a 2-minute video. Matt Ishbia, he does the same thing. I think he does a 3-minute on Mondays or some other day. He talks real fast, but he does the same thing. He's consistent. He puts it out. And that was kind of my point with the Altos report when we did that webinar at the beginning of the year was, you know, just don't screenshot this info and post it to Facebook. Make a quick little 1-minute, 2-minute video with that information. Hey, inventory is, you know, dropped again this week. Here's where we're at for this community. You know, rates are still here. Join me again next Monday for the next update. You know, it's really pretty quick video content, and use that Altos, you know, information, and you can incorporate mortgage information with that, and put out the video once a week, and you're going to start getting followers for sure on that kind of stuff. And it's super easy to do, to just regurgitate in a video format this data that's being pushed over to you weekly, you know.
It's, you know, and there's obviously, here's the benefit and the challenges is people are scared of video. And the benefit is, because of people being scared of it, you can still come in as a pioneer. And the scary part of it is that, you know, you're recording yourself, you're putting yourself out there, You're going to make mistakes. Absolutely. And I think especially since probably COVID, when we were at home so much, and you had all the crazy stories that you hear about, the weird Zoom meetings that the guys half naked and they're walking around, and they're just, everyone's sort of relaxed a little bit about polished, with reels, with Facebook lives, with um, Facebook stories, all that stuff. People are they're they're more accepting of us in our natural state. I tend to not like, I'll try and wear something with less logos or something, but this is me, and this is Letty. She's a Rise Realtor. We've done, I don't know, half a dozen videos. We do them like this. I build this out myself. Our we The first time we did one, the first one we were probably on the phone or on Zoom for over an hour, and then it took me another 20 minutes, 30 minutes to edit it down. But I was learning how I wanted to present these. Now we'll do a video like this, and we might be on the phone or on Zoom for 15 minutes, with 10 of that being, the recording of the video. Then I go out of that, and it takes me another 10, 15 minutes to go back through it and edit it the way I want. Now I have some skills on this. I've been doing different video stuff for a long time, but it can be done pretty quick. The benefit is I have a great partner with Letty on this, and she has content that's including me. So I'm getting pushed out with how she shares it. Now, if she puts it on Facebook, if she puts it on YouTube, if she puts it in an email newsletter, if she puts it, in a weekly update anywhere, I get carried along with that. So within that information, I'm being marketed as well. I helped her build this, but at the same time, I have a benefit. Additionally, I have this to use for myself. As a lender, now I can push it out to my own people, my own YouTube, my own Facebook. I do a couple of little edits that change it, so YouTube does see it as two completely different videos. So she has a kind of her version that's, Letty's real estate thing, and then I have my own, and then I'll change a couple of things, but it's very minimal, and it allows me to have that. Now, if you're not focused on YouTube, you don't even have to change it. You can just push it out to Facebook, because they don't care. YouTube will, because they're super concerned about like copyright and duplicate data, stuff like that. But here's an opportunity to build a relationship. You might do a series. If I did 12 videos with her, and then maybe I move on to something, the relationship I built with her isn't going to go away as long as I keep working on it. She's going to feel like, she got a benefit. She got these 12 videos. Now I move on to find the next realtor that wants to do something like this, and I help build them up. And that's where we're at. Like, this is a way that we can be a benefit to our partners by just hosting them on something and helping share their information, their knowledge. I try and, I ask questions and things that allow her to answer them in a way that she comes across as a more knowledgeable, skilled realtor for her area. We just did a video about her town, Santa Ana, where she lives. And we, just went through a couple things like a Q&A. To build these, we use a lot of, I just go on to like Keeping Current Matters, which they produce new blog content about real estate and mortgage every single day. And we look at what the topic that they're pushing out is for the day or the week. And we pick one of those, and then we talk about it ourselves. We use some of their information, but we basically have a conversation. It's pretty simple. And then, there's a little bit of editing involved, but it's definitely worth it, because these videos will stay out there forever, and they can be recirculated. And they, again, like, I'm getting at least my own database as well as hers to be put in front of. So like I said, I think it's a powerful thing. It's hard to do, but it will, over the long term, this is the way you would want to build a farm, build your database. If you can get, kind of circling back of the idea of the whole thing is, if you can push out a bunch of content and you're continually doing that from a one-to-many platform, you're making one video that could be seen by 22,000 people, or you build out, you put out a newsletter that goes out to your database. It goes out to other realtors' databases, and so it could be, over the course of a year, you're sending that out to 200, 300, 400 people on a consistent basis, and they're going to stay connected to you. When they need a loan or a refi, they're going to reach out to you most likely. And if not, if they don't reach out to you at that point, it's not like they would have done it if you hadn't done anything. You have much more chance of catching a business that was, not you actually going and getting it if you're putting out regular content like this, because this is the type of stuff that's going to constantly be on their mind. And you're off doing something else. So I don't know, any questions on any of this, on distribution, on ideas, things that, you've experienced, good, bad, anything that you guys want to talk about on just staying in communication with your clients? Nothing. Oh, all right.
I think that if you're trying to connect with realtors out there to get their purchase business and their referrals, this is a decent approach, or a better approach than just, hey, let's go out to coffee and then I'm going to ask you for business.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
You're offering to do something with them, a collaboration. It's not a monetary collaboration or anything like that. It's something that both of you will benefit from, especially if they're looking to do something more. I mean, most realtors they don't know where to start, just like us, where do we start? Well, Andrew goes to keeping current matters. Here's the 3 topics. Cool, we'll do this one. It's as easy as that. Just use a couple sources out there. I mean, even UWM with their Inside Pass stuff. I mean, that's so easy to just regurgitate. I mean, they put that out daily, and you could literally just regurgitate some topic that they just talked about that day on a quick Facebook Live or anything like that. That's more of not necessarily YouTube, but I like Facebook Live and things like that. I know Annie, he does lives. She did one, over the weekend. I think she got a lead out of it just from going live. So, if you're doing something at least once a week, going live, regurgitating Inside Pass stuff or other content that you see, it's not that difficult at that point. It kind of gets you going, I think.
Yeah. So I refied a guy, a past client that I actually sold. I was his realtor in 2018. In 2021, 2021, right at the end of the year, I did a refi for him. During 2021, through COVID, I put out 3 different videos that were talking just about current rates and things that were happening, how home values had skyrocketed. And he reached out to me. He's like, dude, do you think I could refi again? What do you, and he had seen my video, and it inspired him to go and look at his own home value. And then like a couple weeks later, he called me, he goes, dude, I think I could refi again. It looks like my house is worth this. And we closed on that second refi, maybe, I don't know, 4 months ago. But it was just a quick video I put together. It was just information that was something I would share with him. He happened to see it. He was aware, kind of paying attention, went and looked, and happened to, turn into a deal for me. And, he saved a bunch of money. But, that's a very isolated scenario. I mean, Letty and I pushed out, like I said, half a dozen of these. I don't know if she's got any leads from it or not, but that's not the goal that we want. That's kind of like the cherry on top. If you get something right now, what we want to do is put this stuff out there to build us up as, reliable market experts for this type of topic, and it's powerful, So if you guys want help on this, if you want ideas, this is the meeting that we would want to talk about that stuff. And we can certainly talk about it as a group, and we can talk about it offline as well. So I hope this is helpful. If you want information on any of the two services, like the fast newsletter or the Birdeye, I'm happy to send that over to you. I'll put it in an email later so you guys can check it out on your own.
Cool.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. And in our back office, there's also a creating a YouTube channel for realtors, but
Nice.
obviously it employs it is for mortgage people too. It's the same concept. So if you want to go check that out, we did that one last year. It's still completely relevant on building out a YouTube channel, some tips and tricks on, you know, getting your videos to rank a little bit better, organizing them, making it more presentable, things like that. I think I'm probably going to put together a new one in the upcoming month or two, just because we're getting, you know, agents are wanting to get into YouTube a little bit more, and I want to make sure everybody maximizes their channel with just a few easy little tweaks. So yeah, definitely check that out. It's in the training section in the back office.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Baltazar, Paul,
Alrighty.
and Heath.
Hey,
Talk to you guys later.
thank you, and I will be reaching out to you guys. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
man.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
good. Thanks.